Afternoon, morning, and
Good man.
it's good to see you all. Welcome to Against the Fence. My name's Sai, and I'm sitting down today with Red Wolf MMA. We're going to be talking about UFC 299, the epic bout that took place just last night for us. We've had minimal sleep since it, but we're still fresh in our mind, to be fair. O'Malley versus Vera 2. What a beautiful story, right? I mean, I'm excited. I was saying ever since O'Malley had beaten Yarn that this is going to be a matchup which I'll love to see, just because the freak accident, if you like, or the way that it panned out the first time, such a good narrative, such a good story to it, and it all tied up quite well and closed nicely last night. The book is now closed on O'Malley versus Vera. What would have happened should the freak accident didn't take place in that first fight? What was your opinion on the whole entire card? Out of 10, how did you rank it?
I was saying it's got to be a 9, man. You know, always do better, but from start to finish, early prelims to the main card to the main event, what a night! What a night!
I know, right? I know. I was so excited for it. For me, I was saying all night, it is the best card that I've had the privilege of being able to do a watch along to for a long time. It might even be full stop, but you know, it's almost a bullet in the foot for the UFC, isn't it? Because they have to now top that in a month's time for UFC 300, the next pay-per-view. How do they do that?
I'm not gonna lie. I always said I thought 299 was bigger than 300.
Yep.
If they'd have got McGregor and Chandler, then maybe. But you know, I think 299 could be topping 300 at this rate.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. The pages continue to turn as we get closer to that chapter. Only a month away. I'm still looking forward to it and see what they turn out with. But yeah, it's really got to be some fight of the nights on every fight of the card. To be fair, it really has to be putting out all the breaks.
Has to be all finishes. No lay and praise. It has to be full on from start to finish. The top 299.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the only lay and pray that we probably all saw coming into this particular card was going to be Jailton Almeida's performance against Curtis Razorblades, but not even that could disappoint us. The knockout stoppage was so good.
Yeah, to go from a 10-8 wrap first round to pink uppercut to ham. You know, that was just, I mean, Almeida just laid there, was like, I don't know what to do now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, that's it. Do you know what I mean? He's been stifled. He's been found out a little bit, hasn't he? But yeah, he's certainly got to be working on his stand-up striking game, to be fair. He really does. And what other cards can we say tonight? I mean, one thing that really excited me about this particular fight card was the fact that it started off with Peter Yan versus Song Yudong. You could have that headlining a fight night any card of the year, and I'll be excited to see it. The fact that it was on the very tippy toe of this card just really shows to the absolute standard, the quality of what was to be had throughout the day for UFC 299. But what would you have to say was your fight of the night on the main card alone?
So I was really excited for MVP's debut. You know, I've been watching for the Bellator days. I think UK fans know him for a long, long time. So I was really, really excited for that one. Him versus Holland, what a matchup! What a matchup! You know, they needed to put a microphone in there so we could hear what they were talking about. You know, if that was at the Apex, that'd be amazing. But that is not an Apex fight. You know, so I'm gonna say Holland and MVP was possibly fight of the night.
Yeah,
but MVP just shut Holland down. Holland had that good second round with the nearly got him in the rear naked.
Oh yeah.
But I think for me it could be MVP fight of the night. Burns versus JDM. Now that was Burns was so close to the unanimous decision right there.
He was
so close.
Yeah, he was working his way there. Got the third round knockout. Did JDM. And just kind of tied things up. He solidified it. He needed that. He absolutely needed that. Got a fantastic knee. The performance was good for Burns, and I like Burns. I really do. But what I really feel a lot of passion for Burns is how he works so hard and he doesn't put a foot out of place for most of the fight. But at one time he does, he gets caught and it all gets unraveled. And it's just like, man, it just doesn't really work out for him too often. And it's so disheartening to see. Much so for him, who's actually in there having to put that work in.
Yeah. I've been a fan of Burns for a long time, and he's always game to fight. I mean, I said before the fight, if Burns has to grapple, Burns
Yeah.
has to grapple JDM.
Yeah.
And he did really well in the second round. He was doing so amazing in the third round, but as soon as JDM got out from under him, that knee came up, and it was, as soon as it landed, it was game over. But yeah.
True. I mean, if I was to come to you and ask you, what could Burns have done differently? Could we even think? Because he did the grappling, right? Would he have left it till a bit later, perhaps? Does he get a bit fatigued by grappling from early? Should he be doing it a bit later on when he's when he can still be quite strong in it and doesn't get worn down with the attempts, or did he just do everything right and it wasn't his day?
I think it's possible. I mean, Burns does, his cardio's iffy, to say a little bit. So if he'd have gone later, he could have got it a bit long. But I think he just did everything he can, and JDM saw him opening and took it. I mean, what I'm wondering next is JDM called out Shavkat. Now,
no one does that. No one does that. Nobody.
I was like, did I just hear that right? Did he ask Shavkat?
I still can't quite believe it, to be honest.
I mean, that's a fight, but is Shavkat a better grappler than Burns? Possibly. So I'm wondering what's next for Burns. I think he's got a few more years left in the tank. He is 37, I think. So he's getting up there. But I'd like to see Burns fight a few more times. JDM's in the top 5 now. So that was a big welterweight shake-up, I thought.
Yeah, good way for it. And it's a pretty stacked division as well at welterweight. What do you think his journey to the belt would be? 2 more fights? Is it Shavkat and then he's there? Does he have to do a Shavkat and then perhaps a... Or, I mean, at this point, let's be honest, Shavkat is pretty much at point of title eliminator, isn't he?
Yeah. I think if Shavkat and JDM, it's for number 1 contender. I'm not even sure who could face Burns. Edwards next. So he's done Colby, he's done Usman. I know a lot of people are asking for Islam to step up, and people talking for Hamzat to get the title shot, but Hamzat ain't making welterweight. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Shavkat versus JDM title eliminator, winner gets the title shot.
Gets the title. And I do think Islam needs to kind of do his work in his own division for a minute. I know he's been sort of putting toes in other divisions before he's even had a chance to pay attention to his own. So I would like him to kind of put in some putting some of the work at home first.
There's so many talks now about I'm moving up or I'm moving down. It's like defend a few times.
Exactly. Do you remember that wasn't even a thing? Once upon a time, it wasn't even a thing. And now
what Connor's done. This is Connor's fault.
Exactly. Now everyone wants to have a bit of that Connor effect. You're not Connor, all right? Face it. All right. Yeah, that was it. That's the second fight on the card. And you're right. The welterweight division is pretty stacked, pretty exciting. And I wanted to touch on this as well because the theme of this card I tend to notice was hype train steaming through. And then you got the legitimate leaders of the division either stopping it or just being smashed through. And that's the story of course, JDM as well. The hype train. He didn't get derailed by Gilbert Burns. He just kind of went steaming through. I guess you've got the MVPs also considered to be a hype train coming into the division. I'm so glad to see him get that win because it means we do get to see more of him. A huge question as to what's next for MVP. I wouldn't want to be sitting here talking to you about that if he had lost against Kevin Holland. But before I get onto the next steaming hype train coming through, quick one on what you think is next for MVP now that he had won, of course, against Kevin Holland. Everyone's been saying, or we've been saying, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Does that make sense to you?
That's the one. I've been wanting to do that for a few years. I mean, my wish is that MVP would have come into the UFC sooner and we'd have got a younger Wonderboy versus MVP. But I'm still up for that. I think Wonderboy's still got it. Yeah. That's the one to make. 100%. That's the one. Manchester, London, UFC, get it. There is one thing I have heard, though. A few people are asking for MVP versus Gary. And I'm thinking, now that might be interesting. That's that could be a good one. But for me, it's got to be Wonderboy.
Yeah, true. I think against Gary, it would be stylistically quite good, but we've got to look at where they sit in the division first and foremost as well. I think I know Gary was calling out Kobe Covington, wasn't he? Which is quite a good hype fight, but otherwise, the person's going to do most for his career would be Shavkat, and that's a style I've been talking about for a while. Him and Shavkat would be the best for his career, although it's a tricky fight for him to win, I think. I'm struggling to see who does beat Shavkat. So I'm absolutely amazed that JDM
You
called him
know,
out.
yeah, I put it this way. I love Leon Edwards. I think he's a great champ. I'm worried for him if Shavkat gets the title shot. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm worried forever facing Shavkat, let alone, and this guy's calling him out. He's got balls. He's got balls. All right, back on track with that steaming hype train topic I was just mentioning about. We are steaming into the co-main event, which was the hype train himself. It's Benoit Saint Denis. Like, he stopped all but one of his UFC fights, and it was Dustin Poirier who was paying back the favor, really taking the fight like this, paying homage to the fact that he's been given opportunities before in the past as well. And look, Saint Denis did great. He did fantastic in that first round of the fight. He completely took ownership of Dustin Poirier, in my personal opinion. I think he performed beautifully. I was just sitting there wondering, how is this going to go on for 5? And look, in the second round, Dustin Poirier answered the question. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I said that. I never thought that was going to go 5 rounds. It was cool that they made it a 5-rounder. It wasn't going to make it. That first round from BDS, his pressure is insane. When he starts, he's just on you, like you know. I was going to swear, I didn't.
Like flies on, something that's not chocolate.
That's the one. That's the one. You know, I mean, DP loves his guillotines. Mike, I don't know how many he's threw there. I think in the between the first and the second, the corner said no more guillotines.
Yeah.
But Dustin was like, I'll do what I want. It works. It works. I'm thinking BSD was thinking about that guillotine.
Yeah.
And that's what caught him. You know, that uppercut came up, the left hook came round.
Yeah.
And he finished it with a almost Dan Henderson Bisbing flying punch, which still gives me the shivers.
Yeah.
But no, Dustin absolutely was brilliant. And like you say, it's the young gun coming against the veteran. It was like, was it a passing of the torch here?
Yeah.
Dustin proved that experience and grit beat out. BSD's still young. BSD's still got loads of time to build himself up into the rankings. Yeah. But I think Dustin needed that, and I think the fans the fans needed that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It was beautiful. And, just reminded us, if anyone had forgotten, I think a lot of people had done, just how beautiful, how pure, how good the Diamond is himself. And generally, I needed to see that. I did need to see that. I did have faith in Dustin Poirier doing it over the 5 rounds. Didn't think it would happen so soon. But ultimately, I did need to see him sort of do something like that in that fashion as well, just to kind of reignite my fire for him. Not that it was gone. It was winning,
I mean, I felt like you said, I thought Dustin would win, but I did think it would be in the later rounds when BSD, I kind of tired himself out with the constant, but Dustin said, I'm ending this now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that also BSD was like given that pace, I think that was like, okay, we're going at that pace. And it's going to happen a lot sooner then. But ultimately, I thought he'd probably pace himself a little bit to go for 5 rounds. He'd never done that before. But yeah, like I imagine it was Dustin's terms that it goes to 5 rounds if he was to take the fight. And BSD says, I'm going to do this on my own terms and try to get done in 3. So that's probably why we didn't see an adjustment to pace, right? But look, beautiful fight for the duration of which it lasted. And just quickly on that, I wouldn't ask you what's next with Dustin Poirier because it's so stacked, that division, and hard to say. But for someone like BSD, Saint Denis, like he's still good. Who would you like to see him fight next? Because I think there's more options open there for him.
So like the lightweight division, like you say, is stacked. You've got those main 4 at the top. You've got Islam, Gaethje, Poirier, and Oliveira. Yeah. Like those 4 teams are destined to just completely fight each other for the rest of the time. But Saint Denis, I mean, I think he's ranked 12, so I reckon he gets someone maybe a little bit lower, just to help bring that fire back. Just make sure show him he's still.
Defend his ranking won't be silly.
Yeah. Defend the ranking. Work on taking the cardio to the next level. By all means, be a pressure fighter, but pull it back a little bit and be a bit more clever with it. I'm not sure, man. What about you? Who do you want to see?
It's a good question. We saw RDA perform on the night as well, didn't we? Against Gamrot. So that played out. Perhaps that could be right there for him. Or
Good
yeah,
one.
he's currently sitting outside of top 10. So I would like to see his next fight sort of be in and around that top 10 mark. I don't really want to see the guy going down. So look, if there's still opportunity for him, because let's face it, like he fought someone who's right up there, number 3 in the division, right? He
Yeah,
shouldn't really be punished by having to fight someone who's outside the rankings or down at 15. There's no reason why he can't get someone who's neighboring him still around the top 10 mark. Dan Hooker would
yeah,
probably be a decent enough fight for him. But I think, yeah, perhaps the style of RDA could see if he can try put him away. But
yeah.
it wouldn't be too
That
silly
could be
there.
a good. That could
Mm.
be. I mean, there's another one that nearly turned back the clock. RDA.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he hurt Gamrot twice in that first
Mm.
round. I thought it was going to be over by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, pushing 40 and showing that he still got it, man,
Yeah.
that was brilliant.
That is something. And, Gamrot is just someone who's relentless with the takedowns, which is why I can imagine he's going to be annoying for any fighter to want to take him in that particular division. But he does what he has to do to win, and look, he gets the job done.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, it is what it is, but that's a good one. Put BSD and Gamrot together.
Yeah.
Might see what happens there,
Hey, why not? Yeah. All right. So next up then, of course, we've got the main event. And we're just going to tie up the conversation on this one as well, because it was beautiful. It's the event of which the whole card was built around. You've got the story, which, as I was saying earlier, is quite a decent story. You got man beats boy. Boy becomes champion. Boy avenges his one and only loss against the man who gave him trouble in his past. And look, it tied a nice bow in the little saga, could we say, perhaps, in the sequence. But yeah, O'Malley did it great in some fantastic fashion as well. He kind of competed with Marlon Vera in a way that made Vera look like he shouldn't be standing with him. And that is when I would probably award someone performance of the night, when they can make their competition look like, they shouldn't be up there. I would say for Marlon Vera, though, in those later rounds, my fire still burns bright for this guy, just because the rougher the fight gets, the nastier it gets, the better he gets. He really sort of comes alive in those latter rounds, and it's that dog in him that comes out. And as a fan, I just love to see that. I love to see fighters push through adversity and just be able to sort of step into that gear, which only few actually can possess. But what was your thoughts on that particular fight and how it played out? Did you go with O'Malley as well? Did you kind of think that to be the case?
I mean, I would have liked to have seen Cheeto get the belt. I mean, I love Cheeto. Malley's a polarizing fighter, should we say? But I mean, at first, obviously, when the first couple of rounds started, O'Malley was piecing him up. I wasn't too worried by them, because we've seen Vera in some wars where he has got pieced up, and then later on, he's let the fire out, like you say. I mean, I think he's even said now it's time to go Vato. I heard that and I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it back, but I feel like round 4 maybe could have gone to Vera.
Yeah.
Maybe. I know on the scorecards it was 50-44. Someone gave him a 10-8 round, which I'm like, I can sort of see where you're coming from with that one. But yeah, I mean, it was a dominant performance by Sean O'Malley. That knee, how did?
Yeah,
I was like, how is he still standing off that one? Vera was just like, I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Props to Sean O'Malley for landing it, but even bigger props to O'Malley for eating it and still standing and just still being in there. It took a while to compose himself, because I was thinking, oh, this could be dangerous. This could be dangerous, because that was Sean O'Malley pressing, and I thought this could be Possum, and this could be what he wants. And I know already that Sean O'Malley's corner are happy for him to get a decision win. They're like, you're up. You don't have to engage with him. So he had to make that battle in his head. It's like, is he going to go and risk it, or is he just going to play cool and have a sure win? So yeah, that must have been something to really kind of contemplate. But yeah, O'Malley, the fact that he was able to eat such a shot and just still be there for the season.
It was crazy, man. And to go on 5 rounds, like you say, it was. I'm still a fan of Vera. I think he's still there. I mean, I'm wondering what's next for him. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking after Yan got his win.
Yeah,
Yan versus Vera. Might be something to look into, because I think that's the only guy in the bantamweight Vera hasn't fought.
To be fair. Yeah. This is true. This is true. The guy's been around. He's really kind of touched everyone in the division. Yet, but yeah, and that's something we'll talk about in the show as well. We think that would be a decent matchup. It's a good shout. Really good shout.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was talk that maybe there'd be a trilogy between O'Malley and Vera, but
yeah,
I think that's, like you said, that saga's been settled now. O'Malley's on to the next one.
Exactly. Yeah, I know with Sean O'Malley, he was talking about going to another division. He wanted Ilia Topuria. Now, when I heard that, I thought bit wild. Because it seems like he's trying to duck Varishvili, right? It seems like he's ducking him. I mean, the guy's side of cage. He knows he's weighed in to be there just in case. He knows that he's there ready, and he calls out something in another division. Is that games or is that?
Yeah, I think that's O'Malley just trying to be O'Malley. You know what I mean? I'm the newcomer. I'm gonna go to the next division. I'm gonna face Topuria. Merab's next. After that performance against Cejudo in 298, Merab's next. There's no denying it. If Vera would have won, Merab was next. So I think, like you say, O'Malley needs to stop with the talk about going to defend against Merab, see how that goes. And then, as we said before, defend first, then look at moving the weight class. But, Merab's got to be next. And he was there, cage side, made weight as a backup. Then there was a little clip backstage where Merab was like, you need to say my name. And O'Malley was just like, I don't even know your name. It's like, it's games, it's mind games. So,
yeah.
100%.
Exactly. He's playing it well, I guess, in terms of the mind game factor. But I mean, I think I'll be excited to see Merab Dvalishvili fight Sean O'Malley. However, for the first time, after seeing his performance against Marlon Vera, I'm a little not so sure about Merab now. I was like, Merab gets it. Merab does it.
Yeah.
But now I'm not so sure after seeing that performance.
I mean, Merab's a pressure. I mean, that's one thing I noticed is Vera never went for a takedown. And he wasn't he wasn't attacking the legs as much, I noticed. In the first round, that was his weapon of choice. He attacked the legs, and obviously O'Malley's knee gave out, and that's how Vera got the TKO. But there was no real wrestling. Whereas I feel like we've seen how much of a pressure wrestler Merab is, and he's crazy with it. He's absolutely crazy with it. He won't mind taking a few shots to get that down. So that's going to be a classic striker versus wrestler matchup. And I'm all for one of them. I'm all for those old school matchups.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think the question is, we all know that Merab's going to have to walk through the fire to gain access to that pocket. But, can Sean O'Malley really turn up the heat to make it impossible for him to get in? But that would be the question.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, it's an interesting one. You disappeared.
Yeah. I'm back now. Yeah. I know. Wait.
Lights out.
Lights out, exactly. Someone's going to sleep. I told you we'll fall asleep in this thing. I told you.
That's the one, man. That's the one.
Yeah, if not us, the camera at least.
Is it bedtime? Yeah,
But camera's blinking. It's like, I'm tired. But look, that wraps it for us. I mean, it's been an incredible card, and thanks so much for jumping on board, Red Wolf, and having your conversation as well, because here at ATF, we do so much, and of course, value the fan opinion, especially when we do these watch-alongs. It's about not watching alone. It's about watching along and doing a community and just really hearing about what you guys, the fans, have to say about these matchups and these fights, and sharing that with the world as well. So, we are a voice that we're looking to really push.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the invite, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I say, most guys are sat at home drinking beer and watching it on their own, but MMA is a community, and we've all got to come together, But no, it's been an absolute pleasure. So I really appreciate the invite, and we'll hopefully do it again soon.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, man. Well, do stick around just on off air, but I'll say goodbye to everyone here live who's joined us in as well. So thanks for coming along. Really appreciate you guys coming here. We have a few things coming up this week on Tuesday, JK, or later this week. If you turn on notifications, you'll get a notification for it and you'll know exactly when it'll be. But Jordan will be looking to go live come Monday, I believe, in fact, for the Aftermath show, in which case he's going to be giving you guys a full breakdown as to the aftermath of 299, what's come out of it, the events, all the social media posts that you should not have missed, so you can get it all juicy stuff together there to be talked about. about. And then after that, later on in the week, we'll be back again on the Saturday for UFC Fight Night. And of course, it's going to be Tuivasa versus Tabora. So we're going to be seeing some exciting fights there. Brian Battle's going to be returning, and also our boy, Beast Boy Davis, Mike Davis, will be there as well. He was also supposed to jump on with us last night, so I was going to get a bit of a chat. But we'll talk to him this week and see how he's feeling, and we'll probably let you guys know a bit more of the inside information on the fight night itself when it comes around. So do tune in, stay locked, and guys, thanks for being here for this one so far. Peace out to you, Red Wolf. Did you want to take the stage for a quick 30 seconds and let the people know a bit about you?
No, I mean, I'm good. It's hit the follow. It's at RedWolfMMA on Twitter. Trying to get that followers up, trying to get that engagement rate, and we'll see you there. But again, Si, thank you for having me. See you later, everyone.
Absolutely. Love, peace, chicken grease.